ResearchACTS was developed for Health Impacts for Florida, a practice-based research network of primary care practices in North and Central Florida. This PBRN was developed jointly by the University of Florida and Florida State University with funding from the State of Florida and the National Institutes of Health. The first pilot study was Adolescent Health Risk Assessments in Primary Care, where we administered a screening tool to teens, summarized the results, and provided geocoded health resources tailored to the needs of the individual teen. The methods and results of this study have been presented and published elsewhere. Please see the list of references on the last slides. A review of available tools determined that existing software was insufficient to integrate data collection into clinical care without study staff physically present in the clinic, manage complex user roles and data access, help providers use information at the point of care, manage informed consent, and handle both research and clinical data. We needed a tool that was accessible from anywhere, easy to use, maintained privacy and confidentiality of the data, ensured that only information that was needed and allowed was accessible, and could be adapted for any study, serving as an essential part of our PBRN infrastructure. We would like to acknowledge Betsy Schenkman and Michael Mazinski, Network Directors for Health Impacts for Florida, as well as our Network Manager, Software Engineering Team, and Stephanie Staris, who allowed us to use her study as an example.
So to make the best use of the allotted time, let's jump right into a demo that will highlight some of the main features of the software. This survey is for a study that is currently running in the ResearchACTS software, increasing HPV vaccine initiation among adolescents with health information technology. Special thanks to Dr. Stephanie Staris at the University of Florida for allowing us to use her survey to demonstrate our software. After logging in, if the user is participating in multiple studies, they are given the option to select a study. On the study home screen, the user is presented with a study summary, which contains useful information pertaining to the current study and only includes the numbers relevant to the user's site. We'll have more information on sites later in the presentation. Other features on the study home screen are the navigation pane and a study change option. Next, we'll jump to the participant list to initiate a participant survey. On the participant list, we have a few options. Email, which is used to send or resend health resources to the participant if they choose to provide their email. Surveys, it displays a link to the survey or a list of surveys if the study has multiple surveys. Review, to review the participant's survey if they have completed a survey. Details, to review the participant's information. And finally, removal, to remove a participant from the study. Okay, so let's take a look at the survey. ResearchACTS was developed with the intention of having surveys administered on iPads or other mobile devices. A QR code is provided for clinic staff to scan using the mobile device and allow the participant to answer the survey in a private setting. A URL is also provided in case the entire process is completed using only the mobile device. Clicking the URL automatically signs out the current user and initiates the participant survey. Before the survey begins, a consent must be completed. A copy of the consent can be emailed if the participant enters their email address. The survey for this study requires both an English and Spanish option. Branching logic allows for two separate sections instead of displaying both languages on one screen. This particular study decided to have color coding on the thank you screen so that the clinic staff person would be able to screen the results before passing along the mobile device to the provider. Redirects can be placed on the thank you screen so that the provider or staff can easily navigate back to the participant's information. Once the provider logs back in, they are taken to the participant summary page. The relevant information is front and center for the provider to review. Geocoded health resources are generated based on the participant's response and can be emailed to the participant. The full survey and the participant's response are provided for the provider to review. If the study chooses to do so, a provider follow-up can be created for the provider to complete. To stay in the allotted time, I won't be able to speak in detail about the features. However, I will list the features and some details on the next few slides. Please feel free to pause and read them at your own convenience.
Currently, ResearchACTS is only available for projects in Health Impacts for Florida, but we are exploring options for wider distribution. For more information, please email Katie Edelton.